Well, the Niger State government has announced a donation of 1 billion naira to the victims of the recent flood disaster in Mokwa local government area of the state and awarded another 7 billion naira for the construction of Mokwa Raba Road and 4 bridges earlier washed away. Now, the government announced it will provide 10 trucks each of rice, beans, maize, millet and sorghum to flood victims. 12 days after a flash flood devastated 3 Mokwa communities, killing 206 people and displacing over 4,000. Niger State Governor Umaru Bago paid a sympathy visit. The governor was in Saudi Arabia for Hajj at the time of the disaster, but visited the affected areas on June 9, shortly after returning on June 8. Acting on the federal government's pledge to rebuild over 400 destroyed homes, Governor Bago directed the Ministry of Lands and Surveys to immediately issue a certificate of occupancy. According to Hussein Ibrahim, Acting Director General of the State Emergency Management Agency, 206 people died and 82 were injured in the disaster.
Enumeration of people who are affected will be done. It's chaired by my deputy, and we'll dole out 1 billion naira. And we have a lot of food we have brought out from the stores. Federal government has promised to bring 20 trailers of rice. We are grateful. When it comes, we want NEMA and SEMA to receive them and also handle them accordingly. However, Niger State government is also doling out 10 trucks of rice, 10 trucks of maize, 10 trucks of millet, 10 trucks of beans, and 10 trucks of sorghum to these people. Again, Niger State government understanding the need for connectivity between Mokwa town and Rabat town, we have already awarded the road construction that has 4 bridges from here to Rabat. It is going to cost us 7 billion naira, and we have just awarded it today. So the work will start from tomorrow, and all the bridges will be constructed by Niger State government. We have asked that everybody that lives on the water line, especially where we had the unfortunate flood incidents, to be evacuated.
Well, to provide an update on the devastating Mokwa flooding and the ongoing rehabilitation efforts by the state government, we are now being joined by the governor himself, Governor of Niger State, Mohammed Umaru Bago. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for joining us. First, let me begin by once again expressing our condolences to the people of Niger State. Over 200 lives lost. That is a devastating toll. But you have now visited Mokwa firsthand. Tell us, describe to us the current situation of survivors and displaced families. What did you see firsthand?
Thank you very much, Ngozi, and thank you for having me this evening. Mokwa situation is pathetic. People lost their lives, families are in despair. People don't even know where their loved ones are. Houses have been destroyed, properties, food, worship centers. So people have lost a livelihood. People have they've lost their lives. So that section of Mokwa, it's a forgone section of this community. So the people there are in camps, and we have a lot of people coming in from the development partners, UNICEF, UNDP, World Bank, the state governments, federal government, donor partners, agencies supporting. However, it's not easy to lose loved ones. That was really, really touching.
Right. Let's even backtrack a bit to before this unfortunate tragedy happened in Mokwa in Niger State. There were flood warnings. Did your government put any plans in place to minimize the devastation in terms of providing help for people to move from lowlands, to higher ground? And now that you've released 1 billion naira for the people, what areas will this funding be directed?
Okay, you need to understand Niger State, how it's provided. Niger State has a lot of body of water. Niger State warehouses Kainji Dam, Hydro Dam. It warehouses Jaba Dam, Hydro Dam, Shiro Dam, Hydro Dam, Jaba Dam, Zungero Dam. These are all hydro dams. And in this period of the year, when you have a lot of rains, all these dams will have to open their gates and you have floods. But our people are riverine. So a lot of them settle around the river area. Even with the advocacy, even with the provision of life jackets and everything, they only are nomadic. They leave when it's raining and they come back year in, year out. With the World Bank, since last year, we had done a lot of survey through the Resettle, to provide erosion control in that exact place that was a lowland, is a valley, But unfortunately, because of siltation of River Niger, a lot of islands have been formed on the riverway. So a lot of people who are 50 years less than 50 years in life don't understand that that place used to be a heavy flow river. They saw it as just a little stream. So they took it for granted, and communities and cities have been built around that area, And if you look at the real name of Mokwa, it means, a valley where water flows. That's what it means. So that is where the confluence of people around the river is. However, this 1 billion naira, again, to your second question, that we have doled out, is because the state government understand that keeping people in IDP camps are not okay. People cannot live less than human beings. IDP camps, we have frowned at them at all levels of the government. As such, we want to transition them out temporarily because the federal government has come in to pledge 2 billion naira for the reconstruction of these houses for them. The state government is now providing land with the CFO and providing site and services in this piece of land where federal government will come and build these houses for these people. This is in the long term. But in the immediate time, we need to dislodge them from the IDP camps. So we're doing a lot of enumeration, getting their data. We'll use this 1 billion naira to settle them. We have done out a lot of food items, about 50 trucks of food, and we'll all share it to them so that they can have buffer stock that will last them for a while we engage them, some of them that are very strong in our agric initiative and some of them in our other initiatives that we're doing so that they can have livelihood. But we frown at keeping people in IDP camps. A lot of people will come in, a lot of vices will come up, a lot of disease can set up. So a lot of things are not okay with IDP camps. So this 1 billion naira will be used to settle them in temporary accommodation, probably pay rent for them, or they pay for themselves. But by the end of this month, by the grace of God, the IDP camp will be closed and people will be settled very well.
All right, Mr. Governor.
And again, let me add, we have received a lot of donations from state governments. Borno State today gave us 300 billion. Taraba gave us 50 million. Other states are coming in. So we're expecting more money to come into this pool. And once we get it, we are getting, after the enumeration, we'll bring in the ICPC, the FCC, the police, everybody to be sure that this thing is transparent so that these people get it and the real people are really, really touched.
That's very encouraging to hear, Mr. Governor. So you do agree that this was a preventable disaster in its entirety?
Are you there?
Mr. Governor, can you hear me?
With you now.
This is Adeswa, yes. So I was just saying that you seem to be very hands-on, and Ngozi had said you seem to have thought all of this through. But there are many more questions. You highlighted initially that these people, particularly the ones under the age of 50, do not understand the history of Mokwa, and so they settled in that region. But the question then is, when they settled, why were they allowed to stay there? It calls to question the role of the local government and, of course, the state government. Why did you allow the people to stay there? And there are more warnings of rainfall and floodings that are coming. Have you begun resettling people away from those risk areas?
Okay, let me tell you why I said that. Because when the Kainji Dam was built and the Jaba dams were built, a lot of them were not born yet. And because the river was dammed and they didn't have a lot of flow of water for a number of years, there was siltation. A lot of islands were formed. Even when the dams were built afterwards, the release of water was not really, really much. So people didn't see heavy volume of water coming. And yes, advocacy year in, year out, happened. But because of our agrarian nature, a lot of people tend to live by the river bank because of dry season farming. It will interest you to understand that people around Mokwa don't do wet season farming. They don't care about rain-fed farming. They do dry season farming in the River Niger area, in the Mokwa area. So they depend on dry season. So during the rainy season, most of them are nomadic. They leave, But this unfortunate incident is like the water level increased from the dams, and the doors were opened, and the dam overflew into the reservoir, and it hit, the embankment of the rail line, and it busted. That's what we saw.
All right.
So a lot of advocacy is going on. We are talking to the people.
Yes, go ahead, please, Mr. Governor.
We're talking to people. We're talking to the traditional institutions, and people are seeing the danger in it. And, a lot of incentives are being given now to people to say you can relocate here. And the government reserve areas where we have cared for forestry, we're now trying to replot them and give people incentives to say, okay, move to these areas that are highland. They are reserved, and you can have incentive of free land and a certificate, and also be given a monetary compensation.
All right, that's great, because I was actually going to ask you what incentives really are being given to these people for them to move, because we do hear that in the flood-prone areas, many of the residents actually are resisting evacuation, and I wonder how you are addressing that particular issue. But let me bring this in. The National Bureau of Statistics, the NBS, says between 2023 and 2024, 36 billion naira was released to 36 states, talking about ecological funds, where each state got 3 billion naira. How have you been able to deploy your ecological funds in Niger State to address not just flooding issues, but other ecological challenges?
It's unfortunate when people talk about 3 billion naira. 3 billion naira for a country like Nigeria, and also a state like Niger State, is very, very insignificant. Even from the state counterpart funding in Ecological is more than 30 billion that we have spent. We are building bridges now, 4 bridges, and creating a road of 12-kilometer road. And it's a state government funding. So this 3 billion, people should not run away from reality. Funding for ecological issues across Nigeria must be given priority as a government. That is one. Secondly, people should stop talking about, okay, from 2023 to 2025, 3 billion was shared to state for ecological fund. These monies were not brought in lump sum. There are other issues beyond flooding. There are issues of bush burning. There are issues of landslide. There are issues of sanitation. Drainages are blocked. There are issues of even potable drinking water. These are all ecological issues. And these issues, even issues of insecurity now, have become ecological issues because people are displaced because of banditry and also extremist activities. So all these monies people use. So 3 billion naira is inconsequential. When people talk about that they give state government 3 billion naira, we shouldn't even be talking about it. It shows on seriousness on the side of government to say 3 billion naira for ecological issues, when we know that climate change and climate issues and action have come to stay. They are real and germane. Even tree planting. Can the 3 billion naira plant the trees? Come to my nursery. I have more than 1 million species of trees in my nursery. Can 3 billion naira plant that? No, they can't. So let's us look at issues when they come and address them very well. Let people stop trying to blame subnationals. There is nothing in 3 billion. We have just given 1 billion naira to a community that is ravaged by flood. In 25 local governments now, when you have issues in 25 local government, if you dole out 1 billion naira in 25 local government, it means 25 billion. Can the 3 billion from the ecological fund solve the issue?
Is there any counterpart funding coming from the state to address these challenges that you've just talked about?
Definitely. If the states and local governments were not in this pool for ecological issues, it will have been overwhelming. Some of these issues you are seeing, even drainages we are building, roads we are building. Niger State year to date, since we came on board, we are constructing over 1,000 kilometers of road. In all 25 local government, we are constructing not less than 5 kilometers of road. And they come with drainages. And these are ecological issues, All
right, Mr. Governor, given the increasing frequency of extreme weather events that you have just pointed to, is Niger State then financially and institutionally equipped to handle what's to come? We have more predictions of thunderstorms, of flash flooding coming your way in Niger State. Are you equipped to handle it?
So let me tell you the issue now. Now, thank you for this question, because as a government, what we are trying to do is to harvest water. You will have 3 months of heavy flood and to wash away everybody's resources and houses, you know, and you have 9 months of drought. So there is need for a deliberate attempt by every government, both at the national level, at the state level, and even at the local government level, to start water harvesting, to invest in infrastructure for harvesting water, to build tube wells where these waters that come in excess will fall in, so that it will show up underground water. You know, and this is what Niger State is already doing. You know, and that is why we are investing in a lot of irrigation facilities. We are doing a lot of agricultural initiatives. We have opened up lands, you know, where used to be ravaged by a flood. We have created canals that we are using to now do irrigation during the dry season. And you can see wonderfully what we are doing. So we are sure that even with the prediction of the MBS and other agencies, Niger State is doing very well in terms of addressing these issues in the interim. And in the long term, it will be a story of the past.
Thank you very much, Mr. Governor. Just for your information, the early part of my years was actually spent in Jebba in Niger State. So maybe I'm a citizen of, I can claim to be a citizen of Niger State. Thank you very much, Governor Umaru Bago, for joining us on Newsnight tonight.
Thank you, Adesua.
Well, Adunga.